Let's talk about today's business matters. It's official. Streaming service Max has changed its name back to HBO Max. HBO Max first launched in 2020. The name was trimmed to Max in 2023 after Warner Media and Discovery merged, forming Warner Brothers Discovery. WBD wanted to highlight its diversity of offerings, but HBO's research found users were watching more of its premium fare and less of the Discovery-produced reality programs. The Max rebranding comes after Warner Brothers Discovery announced last month it's splitting into two companies. One is oriented around HBO Max and Warner Brothers Movie Studio, and the other includes the TV networks like CNN, HGTV, and TNT. It's not clear how much of the live sports and programs produced by the cable channels will stay on HBO Max. Linda Yaccarino is one of Elon Musk's top deputies as CEO of his social media site X. She is exiting the company in a surprise move just months after the platform was acquired by Musk's AI startup. Yaccarino is an advertising industry veteran. She held the post for 2 years after being brought aboard to help revitalize X's reputation among marketers. She did not give a specific reason for her departure, and both X and Yaccarino did not immediately respond to requests for comment. It was unclear when the CEO's resignation would take effect. Elon Musk wrote, "Thank you for your contributions" on X in response. Yaccarino was previously chair of global advertising and partnerships at NBC Universal. A new tax break on car loans under President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. This only applies to new purchases for personal use made through 2028 on vehicles with final assembly in the U.S. Not all loans are eligible, and taxpayers can't deduct more than $10,000 in interest a year. For those married couple filing jointly, you may not be able to deduct if your modified adjusted gross income exceeds a certain amount. Lower income filers may also not have enough income tax liability to take the deduction against. The race has been on between three tech giants to reach $4 trillion in market value. Each has been inching closer to this milestone valuation, but an AI chipmaker has pulled ahead and taken the title. Here's more.
Among the three tech titans on Wall Street, Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia, a clear leader has emerged. AI computer chip maker Nvidia has become the world's first $4 trillion public company. Apple entered 2025 as the world's most valuable company, just shy of the milestone market valuation. But Nvidia has soared around 20% this year. Its stock climbed at open on Wednesday morning, reaching the record high value. Nvidia has become a leader in the artificial intelligence boom. Its chips power data centers, which companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google need to fuel their AI models and cloud services. Nvidia generated $44 billion in revenue for the quarter that ended in April. The company rose to fame with gamers for its graphics processing units, and now it's steering into autonomous robots and vehicles. The chipmaker's role in the AI revolution has made its CEO, Jensen Huang, one of the richest people in the world.
Simplified Cancellations has been canceled by an appeals court. The FTC's click to cancel rule was set to take effect on Monday. This would have required companies to make canceling subscriptions or memberships as easy as signing up. This would apply to everything from a gym membership to an Amazon Prime subscription. But a federal appeals court has thrown the rule out. The court wrote that it does not endorse unfair and deceptive practices, but there was a procedural error made by the commission in establishing the rule. While the court said parts of the rule were technically savable, it decided to vacate the entire rule. Thai Airways buying more Boeing jets is part of tariff talks. Thailand's finance minister said trade talks with Washington include the possible purchase of more Boeing aircraft. Thai Airways CEO said last year that the airline ordered 45 Boeing 787-9 jets with options to buy 35 more. He confirmed that's what the finance minister is referring to. Thai Airways just exited its debt restructuring program and plans to resume trading on the stock market next month. U.S. air travel will now be a little bit easier. The Transportation Security Administration says passengers no longer need to remove their shoes at security checkpoints. Here are the details.
Americans and travelers and those coming into our country will be very excited.
Today is the first full day U.S. air travelers without TSA PreCheck can wear shoes through airport security. Evaluation of the policy dates back to the Biden administration. Now, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says officials believe it's safe to end the rule. She points to new Real ID requirements and says screening technology has evolved since 2001. That's when a passenger tried to ignite explosives in his shoes on a flight to Miami.
TSA has changed. We have a multi-layered, whole-of-government approach now to security.
Noem says officials also want to increase airport efficiency before the U.S. hosts major global events. Men's FIFA World Cup games are scheduled to take place in 11 American cities next year, and that includes the final. In 2028, Los Angeles is set to host the Summer Olympics.
Many, many people will be on airlines traveling in and out of our airports, and it's important that we find ways to keep people safe, but also streamline and make the process much more enjoyable for every single person.
So far, some travelers seem to like keeping on their shoes.
I got pretty stinky feet, so every time I go through, I don't like it. Having to take my shoes off, I'm very insecure.
A few say they wonder what other changes might come next.
I think they should do that with the laptops as well.
U.S. mineral buyers appear to be bypassing China's export ban on the U.S. that went into effect in December. Trade data illustrates a rerouting of U.S. shipments via third countries. Between December and April, U.S. customs data shows the U.S. imported nearly 4,000 metric tons of antimony oxides from Thailand and Mexico. That's more than 3 previous years combined. The data does not identify companies involved in this transshipment. China has launched a campaign against transshipment and smuggling of critical minerals. Offenders can face fines and export bans. The Trump administration is taking steps to ensure America's farmland stays in American hands. On Tuesday, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins announced the U.S. will move to ban sales of farmland to buyers tied to China and other foreign adversaries.
We are taking this purpose and our American farmland back. American agriculture is not just about feeding our families, but about protecting our nation and standing up to foreign adversaries who are buying our farmland, stealing our research, and creating dangerous vulnerabilities in the very systems that sustain us.
Reporters asked Rollins whether the U.S. will try to take back existing land owned by Chinese investors. She said the government is looking at all options and that President Trump will probably issue an executive order, quote, very soon. Rollins said the Agriculture Department will also work with state legislators. The aim would be to quickly pass state laws to ban farmland purchases by U.S. adversaries, with a particular focus on land near U.S. military bases. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is ordering sanctions on 5 Chinese companies. He says they're supplying parts used in Russian drones that targeted Kyiv this month. Among the companies are Central Asia Silk Road International Trade and Shenzhen Royal Technology. Ukraine's security service previously confirmed that Chinese-made drones and drone parts were found in drone wreckage after the attack last week. Former British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will return to Goldman Sachs as an advisor. Sunak remains a Conservative member of Parliament from a seat in Northern England. Here's more.
He previously worked at Goldman as an analyst in the early 2000s before joining a series of hedge funds. Sunak's income, along with the family wealth of his wife, whose father co-founded tech company Infosys, made Sunak Britain's wealthiest prime minister, leading to criticism that he was out of touch with ordinary people. Sunak has remained largely out of the spotlight since he resigned as leader of the Conservatives after the party's worst defeat in over a century last July. He took up posts at Oxford and Stanford universities earlier this year. Goldman's hiring of Sunak, who had also served as Britain's finance minister, adds to a long list of senior politicians taking positions in finance, where their policy background and global networks are viewed as strategic assets.
The governor of North Carolina said Citigroup plans to create 510 new jobs in Charlotte. The bank will invest $16.1 million in an office facility, expanding its workforce in personal banking, finance, and marketing. Even as digital banking gains prominence, banks view branch networks as essential tools for client relationships. Citi's head of enterprise services and public affairs said, Charlotte stood out as a location where we had a unique opportunity to invest by establishing a formal presence. The average salary for the new positions is projected to be almost $132,000. A Texas-based cloud seeding company says it's facing threats and harassment following devastating floods in central Texas. The CEO of Rainmaker Technology, Augustus Dorico, says the company is being falsely blamed for causing the floods, even though their operation was over 150 miles away and days earlier. He insists the rainmaking effort was small, brief, and stopped immediately once forecasters saw more moisture moving in from the Gulf. Rainmaker has paused all operations in Texas while offering support to flood victims. It's one of the summer's biggest weeks for online sales. Amazon is kicking off its Prime Day deals, and other retailers are slashing prices to compete. But all those purchases mean packages piling up outside your door. We look at some ways to protect your items and what to do if your packages are stolen.
Online shoppers are scoring hot summer deals right now, with retailers like Amazon offering big discounts.
Prime Day is really exciting for us.
Richard Rocha with Amazon says Prime Day members bought 375 million items worldwide in 2023. Other big box retailers are also slashing prices. And while shoppers are seizing the discounts, thieves could be seizing the opportunity to steal your stuff as packages pile up outside homes.
It is a crime of opportunity.
Corey Colleton with Security.org says they looked at crime data and found more than 58 million packages were stolen in 2024. While Amazon says the vast majority of packages are delivered without any issues, there are things customers can do to make sure their items are safe.
They're able to track their packages in real time when they're about to be delivered. And then when they do get delivered, there's a photo that's sent to you so you can see exactly where it was put.
Rocha also says customers can leave notes about their delivery, like drop off behind the house. Certain items can be delivered to a hub locker at no additional cost, and you can schedule to have your items delivered on a day you are home. So what should you do if your packages are stolen? Amazon says call customer service to get it fixed.
We're all about convenience, so we want to make sure that customers have the best way that they can get something that's most convenient for them.
And call the police.
It is a crime and it's taking place on your personal property.
While security cameras can help you catch thieves in the act, law enforcement recommends not engaging with the thief.
An iconic Los Angeles restaurant is closing up shop after more than a century in business. Cole's French Dip in downtown LA has been serving customers for 117 years. The restaurant will close its doors permanently on August 3rd. According to a statement announcing the closure, Cole's is LA's oldest operating restaurant and bar. Efforts were made to keep the business running, but the owner cited multiple reasons why it has to close, including factors that he says weighing down independent restaurants. Those include the pandemic, the actors and writers strikes, crime, high rent, and the rising cost of labor and goods. AMC Theaters is making it cheaper to go to the movies this summer. The chain already offers discount Tuesdays for its AMC Stubs Rewards members. And starting now, the price of an adult movie ticket is half price on Wednesdays too. The 50% discount is also valid on a small popcorn, drink, and combo. AMC has not said how long the promotion would run or if it's a permanent change. Samsung is betting on foldable phones as the future of smartphones. This is a feature that sets it apart from Apple, who typically dominates the market. The South Korean company lost its global smartphone crown to Apple 2 years ago. On top of that, it is facing increased competition from Android rivals. Samsung has unveiled 3 new thinner and lighter foldable phones that are now available for pre-order. The company's mobile president and COO said his mission is to make Samsung a leader in AI-powered smartphones. He plans to do this by enhancing cooperation with external partners like Google. He said, unlike Apple, who has been using in-house AI technology. And Wall Street closed higher today, lifted by optimism that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates later this year. The Nasdaq led the gains, driven by a rally in tech stocks, which notably Nvidia briefly becoming the first company to reach a $4 trillion market valuation. And aside from Nvidia, mega cap stocks like Microsoft and Amazon also contributed to the market's upward momentum. Investors appear to be growing more accustomed to Trump's tariffs, and looking ahead, investors are watching Thursday's jobless claims report for further signs of labor market strength. And that's it for today's Business Matters.